Oftentimes we use human analogies and human words to just try to describe God, and God has described himself in those various ways as well as we see through scriptures. And God has actually shared some of his attributes, some of who he is with us. We call those his communicable attributes. That is, the attributes he shares with us. For instance, we can be loving, we can be good. But then there are some attributes, some characteristics that he does not share. We call those his incommunicable attributes. And one of those attributes is called God's transcendence, his transcendence. And transcendence means there is the category of God, and then there's a category of us. He is completely separate from us. He is completely independent from us. There is an otherness of God. He's greater, and we are dependent upon him. And yet within God's transcendence, there's also an immanence. Meaning here is God, and he is transcendent, and yet he is directly involved with mankind. And not just kind of as a far away kind of involvement, but an intimate involvement, a direct involvement with his creation. And I want to point out just a few scriptures talking about God's transcendence. One of the most famous ones is from Isaiah. And I was going to just read Isaiah 55, verses 7 and 8 and 9. I'm going to start back in verse 6, and it says this, Isaiah 55, verse 6, "Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. Let the wicked forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to the Lord, that he may have compassion on him, and to our God, for he will abundantly pardon." Listen here, verse 8. "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord." Oh, verse 8. "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts more than your thoughts." And also in Psalm chapter 113, verses 5 and 6, actually starting back in verse 4, "Yahweh, the Lord, is high above all nations, and his glory above the heavens. Who is like the Lord our God, who is seated on high, who looks far down on the heavens and the earth?" Question mark. Meaning there is nobody, nothing compared to God. He is incomparable. He has this total otherness apart from his creation. And then Jesus said this as well in John 8:23. He said to them, "You are from below, and I am from above. You are of this world, and I am not of this world," pertaining to the fact that he is God and he is transcendent. And so this is a few takeaway points as we glean on God's transcendence. We have to realize that he will always, always be higher than us. And secondly, even when we should and we need to try to comprehend who God is, we will never, ever be fully able to comprehend who God is. And so third, we need to realize that 100% of our salvation is dependent upon God, because that is partly due to his transcendence. And fourth, we have to realize that there is always going to be a difference between us and God. Well, one day, yes, we are going to, as Christians, we're going to be able to attain full holiness, but still, even in that, God will be transcendent and above us. Fifth, God is majestic. If I may use this term, it is God who is awesome. Because he is, again, this otherness above us. There's no comparison to him. And then 6, realize, yes, we get to share in some supernatural things, and yet we're in this natural world. But since God is outside of that, he is supernatural, and he does not have to go by the laws of nature. All that is due to the fact that God is transcendent. We worship, we serve, we have a transcendent God. Thank you for joining me.